Welcome to the Rockhound Podcast. We have a returning guest this time, so go ahead and take it away.
My name is Jared, and I run the Currently Rockhounding YouTube channel and the website currentlyrockhounding.com.
All right. Well, welcome to the podcast again. We're so happy to have you here. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, thanks, Jared. And I am Karen from Ozone Fine Art Ventures here in Oregon, and I want to take a moment just to thank you all for showing up, and howdy to all of the new folks that are tuning in for the first time. And if so, would you please leave where you're tuning in from in the comments? And even if you're a return, let us know where you're tuning in from. It's really interesting to hear. And Theo?
My name is Theo Kellison, and my channel is Theo Kellison.
Short
Kyle?
Well, apparently I'm Director Mild Kyle now with the World of Rockhounds. Yeah, that's it for me. Karen, before we get into how everyone's week was, do we have any shout outs from the last episode?
For sure. Actually, I'm sorry that Kurt couldn't join us this evening for the podcast. He's all right. He'll be here again soon. But the first part of it was like the international fan club for his facial hair.
Yes.
So many comments to that, including, of course, the New Zealand Rocks Down Under and the Greek explorers, but like innumerable people said wonderful things about that fashion situation. And we actually had some pretty interesting questions and suggestions come in. Julia McKenna loves our words of wisdom and would love to hear a little bit more about identifying rocks, which is something that I think we've talked about doing. And this is great to have you on board today, Jared, because that's what you're all about as far as this website thing goes.
I love identifying rocks. Give me a mystery.
So Julie, this is for you. Dreamweaver was interested in a sense of responsibility for your family's history as far as the rock hounding goes. Like if people feel like there's a legacy, and so you can kind of be thinking about that, and we can answer that if we'd like to. Let's see. We also have from Bloomington, Bloomingtonian. Now, guess where Bloomingtonian is from?
Ogden, Utah.
Yes. So from beautiful Illinois, a couple of questions. Do you know if a list of YouTube rock hounds is organized by location? If that's available, and it would be interesting to see what is available in different states, provinces, and countries. So she was also curious about long-term vision and goals for individual YouTube channels, which is, again, right up Jared's alley. So I think he's going to be answering those questions for sure during the course of this. Mm-hmm. And so, again, if you've got any questions for us, specifically Jared or any of the other panels on the podcast, please ask them in the comments and we will definitely get to them. And thank you so much for pitching those.
Yeah, thank you. So now that we're done with that, again, like Karen said, Kurt can't be here today, so he's here in spirit, and so is his awesome facial hair.
We should all be rocking that.
Right.
I considered it. Like I considered like shaving everything down. I'm like, no, I can't. High as my double chin. But how was everyone's week? Jared, if you want to take that one off.
I mean, my weeks are always very, very busy. Lots and lots of rock hounding. Posted a couple of videos from down in Oregon. We took a big trip down to the Oregon-Nevada border over Memorial Day. So I'm still in the process of doing all that video editing and stuff. So I'm always staying ahead of the ball a little bit.
Did you take I-5 down?
No. We went I-84 all the way down by the Oregon, Idaho, Nevada border. So
gotcha. I was gonna
say, beautiful drive. Love that.
Yeah. It's long. We did like 1,200 miles in 4 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Hopefully worth it. We'll see visually very soon when those videos drop. Looking forward to that. Nice.
How anything else during your week?
Nope. Sorry.
Work and more work.
Rockhounding, Rockhound editing, and computer work. So that's my week every week.
Karen?
That sounds familiar, Jared. Definitely. My week was full of polishing and setting some opals for order, and that was really fun. And at the same time, I was working hard on getting some of the fossils worked out. They're in acid baths and fun things like that. So yeah, it was a productive week that felt very much full of work. I have a video coming up on the fossils that I should be editing in my sleep until it finally gets done. How about you, Theo?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. We have a dog hazard today. Anyway, though, I've been cutting rocks and doing a lot of faceting, actually. Trying to test out some new patterns that I've been wondering about. So I've been working through a lot of clear quartz because it's cheap and abundant. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you ruin it. There's plenty more where it came from. Other than that, yeah, just a lot of cutting. We got some very nice surprise iris agates, which I'm so excited to see with a final polish. But yeah, those will be coming soon. Other than that, just editing. So my life is pretty much like Jared's, minus the computer stuff. It's just rock hounding and then rock hound editing.
Nice.
And then thinking about rocks.
I think that's a lot of us, though. Anything else?
Nope, not really. Just same old, same old. What about you, Kyle?
I got my special project done and posted already, so I think a lot of people should have seen that by now. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Very cool.
Bravo, go check it out.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
I did not burn down my garage.
Yay.
Play with fire. Play with dry
Spoiler
ice.
alert.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, Legos, dry ice, and fire make for really cool videos. But yeah, other than that, just pretty much getting caught up in other projects. Now that one's done and out of the way, I still have to get some other customer projects done, as I have some more customer orders starting to get inquired. So it's never not going to be a slow day. But as far as projects go, did anyone have any special projects coming up? Do you guys want to disclose?
Well, I've been starting to do a catalog of every rock and mineral that I've collected.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
I can have that and I can look at it and be like, what do I already have?
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. In respect to that, what do I need?
So I'm kind of lucky. I live in Washington, and here the Department of Natural Resources has put together a Washington mineral list. So it's a literal checklist of every mineral that's been observed in the state. So I'm just like working through it.
That makes me so jealous.
We have something similar from DOGAMI, don't we? Like I know I've been hitting the Orbins. I don't know if you do that as well, Kyle. And because I every single time I find something that I think it is this, but I don't know for sure, I go hit the DOGAMI site or hit the old Orbins, because it might not be cited except for like back in the 40s, you know, of the last century. Are you finding that to be true as well, Jared? Or
well, we have a lot of micro minerals here. There's about like 550 minerals in Washington, probably 400 of which you need a microscope. So you know, there's a lot of that. But yeah, there's definitely stuff that hasn't been thought of or observed in decades and decades.
Yeah, I found something on a friend's property and I was like, nah, that can't be what this is. And then I was looking back and like literally, I think it was a ore bin from the 30s. Was like, oh yeah, back at this mine, and it was actually down river from this mine. And I was like, wow, okay, cool.
You should explain to people that don't know what the ore bin is.
Thank you. The ore bin is an old circular that was part of the journal for the Oregon Mineral Society or some such thing. We'll probably have to put something in the comments or notes so that people can have access to that, because it is a wonderful research tool. Because again, not everything is current and not everything is updated necessarily. There's not necessarily librarians on that, and so it's very cool though that you can find these. Usually they're PDFs. Somebody took a microfilm of it and then they made it into something digital for us. Thank you for that, Jared. Yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was.
Oh, you're missing out.
I'm looking at you like,
I love the ore bin. The ore bin is amazing. Okay. It's amazing.
All right, you got it. Thanks.
I don't think there's a list like that for Montana. Like I've done some searching, and you can find like really, really detailed geological surveys for like specific mountain ranges, but there's no like list of all the stuff in the state, which sucks because it makes it really hard when you find something and have no idea what you're looking at.
Maybe you should start on something.
I don't think my knowledge of minerals is good enough. I can just call Jared anytime I find something.
There you
go. What is this?
There are some oddball minerals in some of the mountains in Montana. Like there's your stuff that you could probably easily identify, but then you have things like Teuomunite, which is just the strangest mineral that is extremely radioactive and is only found in one little tiny sect of the Priors. And there's like stuff like that.
I need that.
Yeah, it's so cool. Oh my god, it's like vibrant oh my gosh, it's so pretty actually. I really want to find some because it's really cool. But yeah, I mean that's just one example of the hundreds of minerals like that in Montana where they're only found in like a 30-mile range, but they're so oddball too. It's awesome.
Radioactive material sent to USPS. And they're like, do you have anything dangerous to send? You're like,
you just send them all to me. I'll take them all.
Yes. Yeah, actually, there were several uranium mines in the Prior Mountains in Montana, which is weird to think about.
So before we get into a few other things, we want to say congratulations to Jared for reaching 10,000 subscribers.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Woohoo.
First it was Theo, and now it's Jared. You guys can start selling sweet swag now.
Yeah. Start. He's on it. Been on it.
But that's still pretty awesome. How did it feel to see the numbers hit 10K?
Good. It feels good. I try not to get too hung up on the analytics anymore, and really just kind of nose to the grindstone and just put out the content and put out the message that I'm trying to put out. It's surprising that many people want to see kind of the more nerdy rock hounding content. I guess that's how I could describe what I do. I mean, it's not like necessarily really aesthetic and all of that. But yeah, so it feels good that people want to dork out about rocks with me.
I wouldn't really call it nerdy because, one, you're out in the field and you're out going on adventures, and there's a lot of people that don't really have like the time or resources to be able to do so. Like me, I'm not always, most of the time I'm in the shop. Whereas you're always out and about, and people get to live through you, by watching you travel to all these different places. It's not like you're in a lab somewhere and you're looking at all these different rocks beneath a microscope, and you actually produce good content. Your numbers show that.
Yeah, I mean, Well, here, I'm in Northeast Washington. We have a very limited time frame for being outside and doing this stuff. I mean, we were just up in the mountains and it was hailing. And before we know it, it's going to be September and October, and then it's going to be snowing up there. So we got to pack all of the rock hounding in that we can.
And then move south a little bit.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I want to do more spots down south. So that's in the cards for the future.
It's fun to watch your videos that you are out in the field. I think that, your ability to be very smooth on the camera while you're going through the different hunting and information phases of your videos is great and entertaining. Plus, who doesn't love watching you be in the shop and cutting rocks while you can see your breath and stuff, which is the rest of the year, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's cold. It's outside temperatures in there.
You can't make that up either. Welcome back to the channel. Seas frost.
Saturday night special.
Yes.
He doesn't need the dry ice,
No. Could have filmed my video in your shop in the wintertime. So in regards to one of your new things that you recently did, we have some questions for you. So for the audience that doesn't know, Jared had made a website that has a lot of informational tools in there. And me and the other hosts are going to ask some questions, and Theo is going to take off with the first one.
I am. So why did you make it? Like, what was the inspiration behind this? What was probably a huge undertaking?
So it had been an idea for quite some time. And really, I mean, I wasn't happy with how information is being put out there. There's a number of different ways that people communicate about rocks, rock hounding, geology, all these types of things in our circle. And the information, once it's out there, it just gets buried, right? Like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, you post something and then a week later it's buried under content. So I really wanted a place to point to, and be like, hey, like, you're looking to get into mineral identification. There's an article up there, and there's videos and photos and everything that you need all in one place. Go there. And I can just consistently point to that. So that was kind of the real goal with that,
Nice.
Nice.
How long was it in the making?
I mentioned it, I think, on a Saturday night special video. I think that was in the 30s. So that was like 20 something weeks ago,
Wow.
25 weeks ago.
Wow.
I have a whole new respect for people that make websites. Oh my gosh. Like, that is not my thing. Like, Sarah was instrumental in all the back end, at the back end of that website. I mean, there's a lot to it. We don't make websites for a living. I'm not a graphic designer. We did everything ourselves. So
yeah, it is difficult. And then the upkeep is even more fun. So buckle in.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, websites aren't easy to begin with, but that is like an extremely information heavy site to be making. So that's not just like an undertaking. That's a serious undertaking.
I will also say that it's 100% mobile friendly, which
nice.
that's its own thing. Like, you can make a website that looks good on a computer. You make one that looks good on every browser, every phone, every tablet. It starts to compound the complexity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because there's definitely some sites out there where you go on a desktop and it does not look the same on a phone at all. Like, it's all lettering is super small. You have to zoom in to be able to read it. And it's kind of hard when you have dirt on your fingers and you have a rock in your hand.
Yeah, Dirt on your fingers and the rock in your hand reminds me of one of the latest videos that you released there, Jared, with the identification app.
Yes. Yeah.
You guys need to go watch that if you haven't watched it yet, and leave your thoughts in the comments for Jared, because it was really interesting seeing the app in action. I hadn't seen it yet, so that was good.
It's a disappointment. That's what it is. I mean,
I've heard.
So I kind of since I posted that video, and there's an article up on the website as well where I tested even more rocks with the same success rate of like 10%. I've kind of delved into what is actually happening in the app, and it's just they have an image comparison algorithm that you can just buy this algorithm and put it in your app somehow. And there's a lot of apps out there now that like do that for plants and other things that probably fail at the same rate.
I think you can probably do the same thing for free on Google. Probably have the same result.
Yeah, I mean, you can upload an image to Google and it will find similar images.
I should Google my face at some point and see what happens.
Oh, that's a fun game to play. Everybody's gonna go do that right now.
Pause the podcast. Be right back.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's relevant, and like our viewer had asked about the identification, especially if you're a beginning tier Rockhounder, it's a paradox. Like, how do I find what I don't know what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
And so it's a cool thing as a community to try to start putting together things where, okay, you hopefully will be able to identify this because this is what it looks like rough, and this is what it looks like when it's, spray bottled, and what works and what doesn't work, I think would be a good point there. Yeah.
I think the next
question.
Yeah. The next, sorry, Karen, I think you're the next one.
I think so.
Sorry for my viewers. Like, sometimes I can't quite talk normally, so
it's all right. I'm
not going to edit that out.
I think that this is an interesting question as far as, we're all content creators here, and a lot of the folks that watch are as well as being rockhounders. And so they're wondering, if I watch a video that you've made, Jared, why do I need to, what's the point of having a website as well? So you want to expound on that?
So it's inevitable. If I go somewhere or I post something about some type of rocks, whatever, people will contact me after the fact. Hey, like, you got this thing wrong, or, oh, if you drive a little further down the road, there's like these additional road cuts that are really cool, or, hey, I have this PDF of this document of some geologist wrote on the actual site. And just all of this type of follow-up, and I can put it all there on one page. So as time progresses and I get more and more information about something, I mean, I can add it. I mean, everybody goes out and goes rock hounding, and you pick up 20 rocks, 10 rocks, right? How many of those are you going to fully slab and cab before you put your video up?
Right.
Not all of it. So over time, as I work the material from these places, I can add it there, kind of like a running log of that area.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Stockpile of information.
Yeah, just
like
to be able to continuous updates over time.
Right. Cool. And on the tail of that, so why a website and not a guidebook?
That's a good question. I was asked multiple times by people to maybe write a book, and I thought about it, and I really looked into this, and there's inherent problems with these things. These books, there's the amount of time between updates is between like 4 and 10 years. That's what like most publishers go for. Lots of things change in that time frame. I can update the website in 30 seconds. So that right there is huge, in my opinion. on top of the fact that it's free. I mean, yeah, the books are like $20, so it's not like a break the bank scenario, but it's nice that this is just there for everybody. You know, people can see the material as I go, as I get more information, I can just add and update. So I think it's a superior format.
What updates would be relevant? What kinds of updates are you talking about?
Well, like a good example has been there. We have a number of rock hounding spots here in Washington that are in these. Okay. And in the time frame that I went to a spot and filmed there till now, it's became private property. Okay. So that's one aspect. I can just like change it. I can also go to some of these sites that are listed in all of these different books, because we go to Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Montana, and I can fact check them and be like, oh, hey, they list 4 sites and the first 3 are people's private property. I don't know how that happened. And, you know, so I can do all of that very, very quickly and put that up there. Or, you know, new spots. I can add new spots. I can check old ones. I can put whatever I want, whenever I want. Like here, just outside of Spokane, there's a local mine owner who he's got a serpentine mine, and he just started opening it up to the public for the first year this year, or maybe it was last fall. And I can put his information out there on the website. It's not going to make it into a book anytime soon.
Right. Was that the you made a video of that?
Yeah, the wild turkey mine.
Yeah, the turkey mine. I
which
didn't want to cite it unless it was right.
that was the most crazy experience.
That looked really cool.
Yeah, for people that don't know, I invited whoever wanted to come out to this mine to dig serpentine, and 100 people showed up. So that was a lot of people.
If I could afford it, I would have probably came up too. But
yeah, it's beautiful material. It's like neon yellow.
For me, it would have been more about the experience of going somewhere I haven't been before, because I haven't really been in many places in Washington since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have been happy to spike in just a few pieces. And I mean, you guys all know my backyard; it's just full of rock. So I just only need like a couple small pieces. I'm like, all right, I'm cool, good to go.
It was gemmy though. There was gem grade. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I would have gotten more than a few pieces, but still.
Oh, yeah, you would have been working that.
Well, you know, I almost feel like I need a different name for what we have in Northeast Washington, because it's not rock hounding. It's like, go pick it up. There's like piles of great material that's, you know, a mine tailings that's like 30 feet high and goes on for hundreds and hundreds of feet. Wow. So rock gathering.
That's how it feels on the Yellowstone tour.
Harvesting.
I like that. I like the rock harvesting.
Yeah.
I'm imagining you with a basket, you know.
Going out there like a couple times a year to water the rocks first.
Yeah.
This one's right.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt had a question, and so in this spirit, who is the audience for this site meant for?
I think primarily it's for people that are just dipping their toes into it, you know, the type of people that feel lost. I felt lost when we started really getting into rock hounding. I mean, there wasn't YouTube really like how we know it today. I felt like a lot of the guidebooks, I was kind of like, didn't get it. There was like a disconnect there. So yeah, a lot of like new to intermediate kind of crowd of people. And I think also there's a lot of resources there for people that have been rock hounding for a long time. Maybe they already know everything, but as a place to point people to when you're like, how do you explain the Mohs hardness scale? Like what's the website you pick, you know, or what's the thing you show? I mean, it's nice to have it all aggregated.
Yeah. And then in your website, for the people that are just beginning, do you have links to tools and resources as far as like the most hardness toolkits and picks and
so there is that right now, not in the amount that I want. I mean, I wish I could put literally everything on there, but with time, I'm sure you guys and probably a lot of the people listening know what Mindat is. Everybody knows what Mindat is? Okay.
A little bit. I haven't really delved too much into it.
Oh, you're missing out. You're going to love it.
I've been there a little bit, but not like not too far in depth just because I have a lot of other stuff going on, but I know of it.
Yeah. And so Mindat is a website that was started in, I think 2000 or 2001. So we got 2 decades into Mindat now. And I recently went back and looked at what their very first web page looked like back in 2000, and to compare it to what they have today, it's just mind blowing. So I kind of try to look at that in that perspective of there's still a little bare bone aspects to the website right now, but give me a year, 2 years, 10 years, and it's going to have everything I possibly can find for the Western United States on this thing.
Nice. I think a lot of new people that are getting into it will really appreciate that because, I mean, knowing from my standpoint, having 2 separate Facebook groups that I think at this point are the largest rock hounding groups on the West Coast. Circling back to what who was it said that I know? I think you said it. Where stuff online just gets buried deep, and within a week or so. A lot of times on those groups, people ask for recommendations for tools or just anything here on the West Coast, and within just a couple of days, it gets buried. Mm-hmm. And so having a website that's going to have some of that knowledge in one spot is going to be a lot easier for people just getting into it.
A lot of Facebook groups receive the same 10 posts every couple of days.
Trust me, I know.
And the frequently asked questions for sure.
Yeah, and I mean that. So one of the things that I really wanted to focus on with the website is to kind of, sounds weird to say, but give myself a bigger voice. Okay. I look at all of those Facebook groups and all the posts and stuff, and I feel bad for some people. They find an interesting rock. They take posts or photos posted on these groups and get 100+ comments, 80 of which are nonsense.
Yeah.
And how does that help that person? Like it doesn't, it's just kind of I think a turn off for people that might potentially be the next Rockhound making YouTube videos or being on the podcast. You have no idea. So to try to silence some of that down and have something that's very vetted, triple checked info, I think it'll be beneficial for a lot of people just like that.
And on top of that, there's kind of a more of a long-term effect to it. If you really think about it, because, speaking from the other side of, people making posts and, them getting either, a few comments that are somewhat helpful, but there's also a lot of comments that are not. Myself and my team are always having to remove comments that are just irrelevant to the post or just rude. And, Facebook groups will not last forever. And I'll say that right now, because all it takes is one person, be it a member or a team member of that Facebook group, and that group gets shut down. And we've seen it happen before with other larger groups. They either are inactive, people can't post anymore, or they get shut down. Whereas there are some web pages like yours that will hopefully be around a lot longer than most Facebook groups, where the information will stay there.
I mean, it's my own playground. I own it, so it's not shutting down. Which that's a problem with all social medias, right? Like you gather like a wealth of information in one place, and it can just go away.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, what does the future look like for your website?
Well, so there's a lot of different things that you can do on a website. Now, one of the things that I'm eventually looking forward to is kind of reducing my general social media footprint and just having a web forum. Bring back the old school web forum where it's very searchable. You get to know the people and just kind of do something like that maybe in the future. I'm going to add a bunch of outside resources as well. I want to organize them by state. So get a hold of people that live in Oregon and be like, hey, what things are there in Oregon? Like the Orbit, what's like the reading stuff that people can just have, and try to make these like master reading lists for people.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
I mean,
go ahead.
That's I don't think I could do this if I didn't have the YouTube channel, right? Because I feel like right now, if I got on YouTube and I was like, hey, I'm working on Montana, if you know any resources, even the smallest geological tidbit, whatever, send it my way. I want to list it for people. I think I would get flooded with stuff, which is good. That'll make this a lot easier.
Right on. Yeah. And so are we that I think covers the questions that we had for Jared.
I have one though.
Oh, you have another one.
Don't worry, it won't be a huge curveball.
Ask all the questions you want.
So as of right now, it's free, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any intentions in the future of making it a feed site, or have any special features that would cost a fee opposed to the free version?
No.
There you
it's
go,
gonna
folks.
be free forever. Yeah, free forever. No ads, no nothing. It's just gonna be there.
Cool.
And just like that, you have a bunch of followers because no one likes ads.
Yeah. Websites aren't free. Okay.
No.
It costs money, especially a website that's fast with all of the plugin integrations, all that stuff. You have to have a business plan and all of these things. So donations, if somebody thinks it's awesome and they want to kick down a couple of bucks, do it. If you don't, hey, it's still going to be there for you.
That's always
so
nice.
Do you have a Patreon or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
No. I have there's a PayPal up there. But if people are interested, they can send a couple of bucks. Everybody that does send something gets what do they get?
Swag.
Get some stickers.
I've got one.
I wish I could, send rocks to everybody, but I can't do that. I can send stickers though.
I got a sticker on my window right now. On my truck window.
Nice.
Thank you.
As far as if they also can join your YouTube channel though for special things as well, right?
Yeah. So I have channel membership turned on. So there's I think 5 hours of exclusive videos up there now.
I'll have to ask you about that later. Sorry.
Yeah. So I have channel membership turned on. It's exclusive content, behind the scenes stuff, extra content. It's all in the sphere, the periphery of rock hounding, but it's pretty good. It's $1.99. You could sign up, watch them all, and quit if you want. So,
but that's something that somebody can do if they want to help the channel, and they're, especially if they're supporting your website and you, that instead of say Patreon, they could do that.
I love the content I make, but the content I make, I would probably put it on the more expensive end. So it's a lot of gas.
Nice. And then are you also on some of the other, can people look you up on some of the other medias, like Instagram and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook begrudgingly, and I'm on Instagram, but really my email address. I love emailing with people. That's my preference because you can kind of have these nice long form conversations. So currently rockhounding@gmail.com.
There you go, people.
Yeah.
You know how to get in touch now. And it sounds like the website's where to go as far as
everything's on there.
Social
now.
media.
Everything's there.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, I wish I didn't. I mean, I get your kind of idea of reducing your social media footprint. If I didn't have my Facebook groups, I probably wouldn't really hardly even be on Facebook at all. It's one of those things where it's like, I really only have it like my personal page for a few posts here and there, but for the most part, being able to keep in touch, contact with friends and family that are scattered. But yeah, if it were for my face for the groups, I wouldn't even bother to be on there very much as I get older.
Yeah, I like the more personal connection you get from email. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like much effort to write an email, but it's a lot more effort than sending a DM for most people now. So
it's more personal.
That's kind of like a natural filter. Like people that are too lazy to write an email, I'm like, you know.
Yeah, it's more personal.
Yeah.
Though I am very guilty of not responding to everything right away. And I never used to be like that. I used to be like very prompt on like responding, but I think it's just as things got as it took on more things as I older, like his time is it's been difficult.
Yeah.
So I apologize to everyone right now if I don't respond to your texts or your messages. It's nothing personal.
Oh, this is a PSA. I see. Okay. Yeah, that probably goes for all of us.
I was going to say, can I attach my name to the end of that too?
Right on.
Any other questions for Jared's awesome new website? Anyone?
I'm just looking forward to see what blossoms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good so far.
I think it's going to be good. You know, I feel proud of it. You know, I mean, it's not something it doesn't come naturally to me. You know, it's definitely going to be the last website I make. So that's for sure.
Are you going to tie in your list of minerals to your website?
Oh yeah, totally. I got to catalog all my stuff and then go from there. And I think that would also be the best way to kind of show what we've collected, because we don't actually have that much in the house. You know, we try to be very frugal when we go rock hounding and get little amounts. Lots of different types, but lots of little amounts.
Yeah, I like the idea of collecting samples instead of yards worth of stuff. Teach
their oh, sorry, go ahead.
Taking it. Oh no, I just wanted to cover that. Like, you have a yard full of stuff, but you didn't go and like swipe it off of the ground. You know, there were so many different estates that you were able to collect from that it's almost like being a museum. Like,
are you talking about me?
Yeah. I think she's talking about you.
Yeah, no, I could literally rock out in my backyard and not have to leave the property. But at the same time, that's actually a good thing, because if I ever do go out into nature and look for rocks, I don't have to worry about bringing back a bunch of stuff. I can bring back a couple small pieces and be happy about just going out there, getting fresh air, resetting, and enjoying nature, and come back with a little memento. Unless it's like a really big, cool thing, then I might have to reconsider how to move a large rock.
What were you going to say, Jared?
Like, you know, we do a lot of just more mineral collecting stuff that doesn't really have a lapidary use. So it's like, if I have a little tiny jar of asbestos, that's enough. Like, am I going to be that much more happy if I have a 5-gallon bucket of it? Or, you know, how much galena does one person need? How much, right. You know, like at some point you're like, cool, I have a really nice piece of siderite. That's enough.
That's great.
Move on to something else, you know?
Right.
Siderite's cool though.
Oh, I love it. We have tons of it around Spokane. Tons of it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with specimen collections, because you know, worst case scenario, if you have to pick up a move a long distance away and you don't have the space to pack everything up with you, I'm willing to bet that a lot of colleges or geological classes will take those specimens in for their classes. And I'm I'm sure you probably keep track of everything too, and you probably have written down somewhere, I hope.
Yeah.
The provenance in your catalog,
Mhm.
somewhat. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Now we're done with your website. We can go ahead and move on to show and tell. If Jared, you want to start off with yours?
Well, I have two things, right? So this is one of my more enjoyable rocks here. And what you're looking at is marble. It's a kind of a purple marble with magnesite. And in between the magnesite and the marble, there's pyrite. This is a local material up here. And it's very cool, very sparkly. And
I was going to say that's fresh.
Yeah, I like this material. It's super abundant. Like it ain't ever going to run out. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't usually see people going for that kind of more metamorphic rock, but we have a lot of really pretty metamorphic rocks up here. And then I have a bigger rock to show you here.
Big one.
This is from our trip down to McDermott. Which some people here know about McDermott.
I still have yet to go there. It's on my list, though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is a 55-pound agate that I picked up down there.
Like a feed sack.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a giant sea maggot. So
dang,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Are you gonna get it cut up?
I am gonna slab that at some point. It's kind of
over
big.
At the Rock Club, eh?
Yeah.
Spokane.
Well, we got other more small pieces, and I've been slabbing those up in my shop. But yeah, that big one's I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up. My second biggest agate find.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna get some big steaks off of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just be sure to send me those pictures so I can get those thrown up so everyone can see a nice HD version of it.
Although that was impressive, though, the shoulder.
Yeah.
It might be a t-shirt, you know?
No big deal.
Like a boombox.
That's my next Maker's Challenge.
Oh,
dude.
And it replays.
Awesome.
Have a little rock
functioning agate staring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're all laughing now. Jared's like, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm already done with it.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Karen, what do you got?
So I've been high centered on fossils a lot lately, concretions, that sort of thing. And so I'm working with the concretions in acid. We've got a concretion here that's partially eaten. And I have a concretion here, which is actually looking a lot like the same thing. And, you know, compare and contrast in the pictures that I send. But you can see like they're but totally different host rocks but same shape. And so this one's going to be a really fun mystery. It's a tale of two stones. And I'm excited about that. And I got the scope out over there so that I can take some samples and look at it under the microscope to get a better look. And so that'll be fun. I'll share my findings for sure.
That'd be a good YouTube channel name, The Tale of Two Stones.
Oh, what? Oh man. I'm gonna start over.
Put in that change of name.
Right. Can I keep everything though?
Right. Yeah, that would really suck to start over. It's like, hey, same person, just new channel. Please subscribe. Theo, what do you got?
Nothing physically, but I did send you a picture. My show and tell this week is they're just too small to show. Like even if I got my fingers like right up here, you would not be able to see any detail in them. So, but I've been faceting a bunch this week. I actually, which I'm sure every faceter that is watching this is just gonna like full body eye roll when they hear this, but I don't ever use patterns or like templates. I always like freehand all of my facets. And the reason for that is because I can come up with some really cool designs, and I test those all out on quartz before I move on to things like nicer material just in general, like those awesome sunstones someone here sent me, which I am excited to get through. What? Which is one of the reasons I'm actually doing all of this testing out. But yeah, Cloak Quartz is what I always use. So I've been faceting just a bunch of quartz in the last like 3 or 4 days, and it's really easy. Oh gosh, sorry, cat just jumped up on the table. Really easily to find, and you can just get really, really cheap, like inexpensive glass clear specimens that aren't really that great crystals, but I mean, you just cut them up, toss them on a dop, and they're so good for practicing. Like if any of you are getting into faceting, go buy yourself some clear quartz, and yeah, just have fun with it. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I finally figured out how to do an emerald cut without a template, which I'm super proud of, because that was not easy.
Nice.
Working on a trillion right now.
Ooh.
I'm still working on figuring that one out. I'm too stubborn to look at a template at the moment.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, it makes it definitely cracks parts of your brain looking at some of those templates, like angles and time, and yeah, it would be more fun to just go for it, right? Which I respect you for doing. I don't know if I'm gonna be like that free flowing.
That's how I do all of the stuff that I do. I never use templates on anything, because I don't know, it's more fun for me that way. It's not like I don't want to. It's just, well, let's see what we can throw together today, And sometimes the results are awesome. Other times I just wasted a good rock.
Well, at least it's quartz, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that is why we practice with quartz first.
Of course you do.
I was hoping we'd get a Jared pun at some point.
There we go.
Well played, sir. Well played. I got a friend over in Ohio that does a lot of faceting, and he does a lot of one-off cuts too. And I think he is self-taught, and he does some amazing stones. And he's even done some lead glass before. And he's like, man, that stuff is messy to work with, but man, it makes a beautiful stone. And I've been half tempted to cut up a piece of block I got of lead glass and send to him, but I don't want to do that yet. I like my big block of lead glass. But I guess that leaves me for my show and tell, which mostly everyone should have already seen it, but I did a YouTube play button out of dinosaur bone in fire obsidian with a nice sterling silver bezel, and I might just show a little video.
That's very nice. You did an excellent job with that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely a fun project. I'm torn between holding off on releasing the how I made it video, but I'm sure people wouldn't mind watching it if I did throw it up there anyway. I was kind of hoping, because I want to release it when I got monetized, because for those that don't know, YouTube is putting ads in videos anyway, so I figured I might as well monetize my channel if they're going to be having ads up and make the best of it. I thought it was going to take me a few weeks to get monetized, and I had another project to go along with this, and I was going to get that done before I actually got officially monetized, but it happened within like not even 2 days.
Oh wow!
And
That's
I'm like,
fast.
yeah, and because I was kind of keeping an eye on it, and last night like 11 o'clock I was working, doing my normal job stuff, and I noticed that my monetization channel tab looked different than it used to. Sorry, let the cat out. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Everything was approved. I'm like, oh, that was fast. I better get this released right now.
I'm super jealous of that, actually, because I had the misfortune of being able to monetize like right around the holidays, so I had to wait like so long to get approved. I think it was like, I don't remember. It was like December, I think. So it was like right at the start of the Christmas, New Year's like breaks, and yeah, it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yikes. It would have been nice with the extra time, though.
No, I was just in limbo. Like, am I good? Am I not? Did I do something wrong? Is YouTube mad at me?
You should feel really good, Kyle. It's not something that people accomplish often. I mean, I can't remember. It was a while back. I looked up the number of people that have accounts with 1,000 subscribers, and it's a smaller number than you think. Like, it's not. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes hundreds of hours of effort. You know.
Absolutely.
Look at all the sleep that I've been getting. It's basically almost like a secondary full-time job, and for those people that don't have channels, and it might come easier to some other people. Like, they might throw up a channel and get the watch hours and get the subscribers and not put up a whole lot of content. But then you have people like me that have to pretty much work a second full-time hobby / job to get that kind of growth. But it took a while, but it was totally worth it. And to do this project that I was working on was kind of a cherry on top of the cake. So, but don't expect me to be having the same kind of quality project film style every single time, because dry ice isn't cheap and it does not hold very well in a freezer.
Fire is very affordable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. You could do fire every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It was a lot cheaper to buy a bunch of rubbing alcohol than. I'm surprised the cashier, because like I roll up to the self checkout with like two things of rubbing alcohol. I'm like, hey, can I get some dry ice too? I was half expecting to be like, what are you making?
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that was my project, and I'm happy that it's done and it's out there now. Now I have to figure out how to outdo myself. Bigger and better. But that's it for show and tell. Anyone have anything else before we go on to words of wisdom?
I have a really quick question for Jared, actually. So I've seen a lot of minerals and that sort of rock come through your channel. How much fossil collection have you done?
Very little. We have a lot of plant fossils out here, and we've gone and collected some of those, but they're fragmented deciduous leaves. That's kind of the thing. Metasequoia twigs,
Yeah,
but it's not. I have a hard time getting into those, I guess. Like, and like here's an old twig. I don't.
As a fossil fanatic, I agree with you 2,000%. It is not just you. It is so hard for me to be interested in like the plant fossils, unless you're in like the Hell Creek Formation where you're finding complete like palm fronds. That's exciting, but
that'd be cool.
The leaf imprints I've never fully understood.
I mean, some of them are nice. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You get a full leaf and it's like really obvious what it is. I like that. We have a lot of twigs and a lot of fossilized sticks, and I'm like, I've collected them. I have like one from all the places that we've gone, but that's about it.
Right on. Yeah, I was wondering about that because, I think everybody here definitely has like the fossil bug. We talk about them a lot. And yet I do kind of understand that again about Washington. Unfortunately, our locale is also covered with a bunch of basalt, which makes it difficult to get to, some of the more interesting epochs, Yeah. And so that explains you.
Like right where I live, I'm right on the edge of that. So I'm like literally on the line at the end of the Grand Ronde and Wanapum basalt flows. And then further north, we get into all kinds of crazy metamorphic rock.
Yeah.
Being near Spokane, you've got to be close to the Burgess Shale. Now that I think about it.
I don't know what that is.
It's I know it runs through Montana and part of Idaho, like way up north, and that's it's a Cambrian and Devonian exposure. So there'd be like trilobites and some really cool like older stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, like we've just north of me, there's a place where you can get some paleo sponges, some Precambrian paleo sponges, but that's another thing where I'm like, it's like,
we got to get you after some ammonites, man.
It's like, imagine like a flat red quartz plate with like little nubs, and I guess those are the paleo sponges. Yeah, just some stuff like that. We do have trilobites that are usually poorly formed out here, and we have graptolites, which it's like a little white line in black shale.
Yep.
So,
I remember that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get you some ammonites.
I would love some. I'm not opposed to fossils. It's just, what we have around here that I really find interesting, I'm excited about is like we have a lot of radioactive minerals out here. We have onatite, which I love some onatite. It's amazing. I mean, we have not far from where I live, there's 100 square miles where they had all kinds of uranium mining.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, then you would love the priors because there's
I would.
There's a whole lot of that stuff in there. Some really cool stuff.
Do you have a Geiger counter?
I do have a Geiger counter. I mean, the thing that I think is missing out of my life is a low oxygen detector and a gas detector. I would like to spend more time underground. Here we have, I think, 500 mines between Spokane and Canada and out to Omak. So we have tons of mines all on public lands, just waiting for you to go poke around. But I'd rather not. I like oxygen, right? So I want to know when there's not enough. So
yeah. And we'd like to see that video end, nicely with you still alive at the end of it. Yeah.
We'd like to see that video in general.
Yeah.
It's going to come out a year after I haven't uploaded anything. It's going to be Blair Witch style.
Oh no. That's great.
This is your video quality just like plummets, so you can do the lost footage style.
All right, let's go ahead and get into words of wisdom. So, Jared, you would like to go first?
Trying is the first step towards failure, so never try anything. I'm kidding.
Don't try, just do.
Yeah.
That's a Yoda thing.
Always collect memories first. So that should be the priority.
Nice. I'm smiling, nodding. That should be my advice. Just smile and nod. My great grandma did it before she passed away, and she always had a smile on her face, and we always felt like she was listening. Oh, miss her. But Karen?
Take it with you. I just pulled off some weird trash off of the beach, and it had some writing on it that said it was nano yellow sand for oil spill cleaning. And I was like, oh, how ironic. It's a cleanup material for an oil spill that became garbage. So I don't know. I have something stuck in my craw about garbage and all of the different places where we love to rockhound. So when you're out there find that too and take it with you. And
absolutely.
So that's my word of wisdom.
Got to ensure that we keep this hobby protected for the future generations.
Yeah.
Theo?
I guess mine would be embrace failure. Going back to my faceted stones. That's a great example because I've ruined several, but the ones that have come out right are they're so cool. So if you are afraid of failing when you do something new, you will probably just never do it. So embrace those moments because they're always a learning experience.
Nice.
Also use quartz because it's cheap.
And it's
That's
everywhere.
my primary word of wisdom.
Well, you can also use a bunch of obsidian too. I mean, for darker stones, of course, you can't see the inside for the internal fractures, but it's a lot. It's everywhere in Oregon. So I'm a little ill prepared. I don't really have words of wisdoms at the ready. I'm always like, I let everyone else go first, so I have time to think of mine.
Yeah. Mine seem to piggyback off of everyone else's usually.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times too. I guess I'm just gonna stick with my YouTube play button. Make your own awards, just because the special play buttons I give out to the all these different channels that have like large followings and large subscriber counts, they're all made in factories. Just because it says gold or silver on it doesn't mean it actually has gold or silver in it. Even the one with
like nickel.
Yeah, even the I think it's the 50 million subscriber play button, the big lunking one. I think it's aluminum, and the center part of it is glass. They're still made in factories. And then you can have the same button sent to different people. The only thing that's different on it is the name. Make your own award. It's gonna be personalized to you, and yeah, customize your life.
Treat yourself.
Get yourself something nice. I think did we go the whole podcast and not ask exactly what the website for getting into currently Rockhound's website is? Like, what is exactly the website? How do people go there?
Currently Rockhounding.com.
There you go.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it, but I don't think you mentioned it. So everybody's like in the comments, where do we go?
I think you did mention it in the beginning.
Good. Okay, good. Maybe I was spacing out at that moment. I was too busy smiling and not.
It's funny because my great grandma's name was also Karen.
Oh. Yes, similarities abound. And so one of my favorite things that you say, Jared, is you've made it to the very end. Thank you for watching all the way to the very end.
Yes.
And here we are. That's great.
Well, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Jared, do you want to go ahead and take us out?
Sure. Well, thank you everybody for coming to the Rockhounding podcast. I appreciate you coming by and making it all the way to the end here.
All right.
And thank you, Jared.
Yeah,
thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was an awesome time, and we'll definitely have to have you on again if you ever want to be on again.
Anytime you'll have me, I'll be here.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next week, and yeah, rock on.